The Germans make light work of what was supposed to be their biggest test in the group. Pepe sees red and Ronaldo is reduced to a mere spectator as Thomas Mueller scores a hat-trick to put the Mannschaft on their way in Brazil. Two World Cup finals without a win, the Super Eagles look to change the script as they take on Asian giants Iran tonight. And no Suarez in their path, so Ghana can go all the way. But first up, they take on Klinsmann's energetic Americans tonight. Good evening and welcome to the beautiful game here on CNN IBN. What a cracking start by the Diamond Shaft. Germany getting off to a perfect start, brutally humiliating Portugal, and of course Cristiano Ronaldo 4-0 in what was their group open and also could have been their toughest match. Turned out to be one of their easiest games so far. Lots to talk about in that game. Pepe seeing red, Ronaldo completely ineffective, and also Thomas Mueller scoring the first hat-trick in the World Cup to become an early contender for the Golden Boot. And talk about all of that, Novi Kapadia joining us, and also is Karim Ben Sharifa. But before we get to Karim and Novi, let's take you through how exactly this game unfolded. The three-time champions Germany starting their campaign with another by now familiar demolition job, this time on an off-color Portugal. German Chancellor Angela Merkel was in attendance and had a few nervy moments in the beginning as Portugal tested Manuel Neuer, but that was only till the first 9 or 10 minutes. After that, the Germans weathered the storm and were soon in ascendancy. The Germans were on the score sheet as early in the 12th minute with Thomas Mueller converting a penalty after Mario Götze was pulled back by João Pereira. Pathetic foul there, very poor piece of defending. Then Matt Hummels powered home a bullet header in the 32nd minute with the entire Portugal defense actually waiting for him to score. And the villain of the piece could be Pepe, but that was not all he did. Things going from bad to worse when Pepe was then sent off for head-butting Mueller, who was on the floor in the 38th minute after having brought him down himself. And then before half-time, Mueller pounced on a loose ball in the box to slam home past Patricio, and it was virtually all over. Mueller then completed his hat-trick and the first of this World Cup in the 78th minute before being withdrawn. Germany coasting to a 4-0 win. All right, what a start there for Germany. Let's take you through the numbers as this match unfolded. Germany versus Portugal billed as one of the toughest matches in the World Cup so far. 54% ball possession to 46 for Portugal. In fact, Portugal took 14 shots. Germany did take 13. Both were similarly good, at least 9 on target each, 6 corners to 4 for Germany. 1 yellow card for Portugal and importantly a red card for Pepe, which resulted in them actually losing out a bit of the game. But Novi Kapadia, Germany always have been counted among the favourites along with Brazil whenever the World Cup has come up. And obviously they were against a big match team, Portugal, and also the person who's called the biggest star in the World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo, alongside Lionel Messi. But the way they played as a team, and that is what they taught us. It's not about an individual in whichever form of life. They fought as a team, and having played under Jogi Löw for so long, today was a masterclass performance.
Oh yes, the Germans have always said my team is my star, but really in this match, if this had been a boxing contest, the referee would have stopped it midway through the second half. It was a technical knockout. I mean, they strolled to victory, especially in the second half. And Germany have shown that they are definitely, probably at present, the strongest European team as a contender for the World Cup title, probably along with the Netherlands.
Along with the Netherlands. And Karim, obviously it's great, always great to see the man whom the coach trusts to be up front, scoring, and not only scoring once, twice, but thrice the first hat-trick in the World Cup. Thomas Mueller going from strength to strength. He's obviously made a very impressive debut in the last World Cup. He was obviously one of the highly rated players. This time, first game against Portugal, delivering a hat-trick. Jogi Löw will be celebrating tonight.
Absolutely. We discussed before about the Germany doesn't have a pure number 9 beside Klose, but Müller taught us today that Germany can count on him. And what Mueller brings more than a typical striker is his mobility. He is moving a lot. He is anticipating. 2 of the goals that he scored was pure anticipation for what's going to happen next. And that's one of the quality of the great players.
Is one of the quality of the great players. Also the fact that, yes, we will speak about Portugal, but Novi, Ozil and Khedira, they say, as both of you will, I'm sure, will agree that the midfield is the component of any team in this modern game which actually makes or breaks a team. Ozil, Khedira, simply unstoppable. And look at the Portuguese midfield. Yes, Pepe was sent off, but that was on the 37th minute, but the game was virtually over. They were 2-0 up by the 32nd. Portugal, did they not really have a good tactical plan?
It didn't work out for Portugal. Yes, Toni Kroos was also outstanding. Toni Kroos, Ozil, Khedira. I mean, again, Ozil seemed to have an up and down season for Arsenal in the Premiership, but for Germany, he really lifts his game. And as Karim was saying, the mobility of all the German players, Mario Götze, Thomas Müller, they were absolutely spectacular to watch. And I think the coach would be really happy that even the defense, which was susceptible before, especially Hummels and even Jerome Boateng, had an outstanding game. It was that sort of rock-solid German defense, as we've seen in the past, intercepting, tackling very well.
Right. Karim Ben Sharifa, you have to break down a broken down Portugal team. Ozil and Götze proving to be a decisive factor in this game, and also how they actually did this link-up play with Sami Khedira and how they destroyed Portugal. Please show us.
Well, we was expecting a 4-2-3 favorite formation of Germany. They didn't do that. They played a 4-3-3 formation, exactly the same as the Portuguese. But what's the advantage of the German team? There's 2 things. Number one, they gone with Philipp Lahm, Kroos, and Khedira. Compared to the 3 midfielders of Portugal is the mobility, because they all exchange positions, they all have understanding. When Lam sometimes get involved in the game, you're gonna find Khedira sitting back. Sometimes Khedira go and give that extra player on this space many times. Then you're gonna find Kroos will sit. So that mobility is very difficult for the Portuguese to handle, unlike the Portuguese midfield, which was always, you know, the Veloso, Meireles and Moutinho. They was always on the same position. As much as the striking force, the 3 strikers, there was always Ronaldo here, and there was Nani. Sometimes they exchange Nani and Ronaldo, but that's it. Unlike here, the 3 main strikers of Germany, they used to have a lot of movement between them. Sometimes you're going to find Götze doing the run on the space, and Ozil will go and become second striker with Müller, and that's mobility. Constant mobility of the German side.
They were switching positions very, very quickly,
and it's very difficult to mark.
But what is also surprising is, Karim, as you yourself point out, this is where Ronaldo starts on the inside left. But when he started and the way Portugal started for the first 9 to 10 minutes, they looked like, my goodness, they're going to take apart this German team. But then it seemed that suddenly Ronaldo was pushed back. He pulled himself back and started playing from a little bit inside his own half. Was that the undoing? Was that the reason the attacks got destroyed there?
Well, there was no imagination or creativity on the attack of Portugal, because many times, yes, Ronaldo end up on a good positions or end up inside, but then there was on the first 10 minutes we had seen crosses on the box from both sides. And this, when you have Hummel and Mertesacker, it's very difficult. They deal with it. Yes, they had few shots, they had few small chances, but the most important is they didn't penetrate the back 4 defense of Germany.
They didn't penetrate. Now, well, the great lowdown on how the match panned out, but Novi Kapadia, also the fact is that you would have been disappointed by the way the defense is playing. But it really does matter if you do concede an early goal. And this, obviously, they conceded a very quick goal initially. Then Bruno Alves, nowhere in position. Creaky defenses seem to be, the undoing for many good teams which might actually lose their way in this World Cup.
Yes, I see Bruno Alves, Pepe again losing his temperament. Really the villain for Portugal today was Pepe. They were 2-0 down and then you commit suicide by, needlessly overreacting. I mean, all he could have done was walk away after committing that foul and not come back and retaliate. And I think the midfield was outclassed today.
No, let's be harsh. Let's be harsh today. It's not a football. We are for nothing do we call it the beautiful game, Novi. I'm sorry, but we need to be harsh on this. Although we are not Portuguese, Pepe had no business headbutting Mueller, who was already on the ground. Yes, Mueller was overreacting, but you cannot be doing that in the World Cup match.
Pepe just did a Pepe. He's used to.
And the funny thing was that Ronaldo and Sami Khedira were teammates at Real Madrid. They were whispering to each other, knowing that look, this idiot is doing this at the club level, and now he's doing it here in the World Cup.
You're a professional for many years. It is absolutely unforgivable. You're letting your team down in the. See, Sanjeev, what he's done. This match they were expected to lose, except for Portuguese supporters. He's put his team in trouble for even qualifying. Because you have two tough opponents, Ghana and USA, and now he's going to miss the next match. It's a 0-4 scoreline. So, he's put his team in a major spot of bother. But for me, overall, Portugal, except that first 10 minutes, did not inspire, except the youngster who came on Eder, who did run around a lot. The midfield was also totally wiped out, as Karim is saying. The sheer mobility of the Germans. They were a masterclass today. The improvisation, the intelligence, the flair. Bits reminded you bits of the Zico Socrates. I mean, it's probably the comparison is going too far, but there were shades of brilliance.
So the shades of it, well, definitely. I like hearing that, Novi. Certainly, that's one of my most favorite sides ever in world football. But Karim, let's talk about the individual now. He should not get away scot-free. Yes, Pepe was the undoing of Portugal. He unnecessarily head-butted Mueller and was red-carded. Before that, he failed to spot Hummels, who towered over him and headed in that fantastic second goal. But the fact of the matter is, where was Ronaldo? First 9 to 10 minutes, he delivers. Most expensive player in the in the world, fantastic player, great captain, etc., etc., legend. But he did not show up.
Well, again, the match today proved that it's all about the team. It's football is a team game. As much as we can talk about some individuals and stars on this World Cup, they can be reduced to almost nothing without the support of the whole team. Ronaldo today was definitely, in a way, you could see him sometimes, whether it's just the effect of the fact that he had seen the German team dominate completely and he have no chance on the game, or it was true, but at times you had seen him some kind of limping and looking at the knee and looking at the injury.
Also, Karim, we look closely at the match, there was a moment when Contrao, he seemed to be in a good position to shoot and maybe score once for Portugal. Why does he pass to Ronaldo? Is there an unwritten rule that, look, he's the star player, right? He's the boss, so you pass it to him. You guys don't play as individuals, just play as a team, but pass it to the main man, he will shoot and score. Why is this? That's a very bad thing.
I explained yesterday, everybody can, when you have, sometimes it bothers players when you have a star star player in the team. Although the outside look okay and everything is fine, but the inside sometimes there are also maybe some players of the Portugal team asking the same question as you. There was also an apparent lack of cohesiveness in this Portuguese team. The best example is when there was one ball where Coentra was in a better position, but Nani disturbed him, and both of them are fighting about the same ball.
Right.
So these kind of things doesn't help, of course. And now Portugal are definitely in trouble, because losing a player to red card, having two players injured, muscle injuries, which definitely they will be out maybe for a week or more.
Right.
So definitely they are in trouble on the future games.
And obviously we saw the German. Obviously, we saw the German side of humor, because the way they stood up, the German fans in the stadium, and clapped when Nani was sent off. But that's all the time we have on this show for the Portugal game. Now, there are two other very important and interesting games which are coming up later tonight. The other Group G game, it pits Ghana, reckoned by many as the best African team ever at the World Cup, against Jurgen Klinsmann's USA in a rematch of the 2010 round of 16 tie. Now the teams may be drawn in what is possibly one of the toughest groups this year, but the Ghanaians needn't look any further than their 2010 campaign. Ghana, remember, were just one last-minute penalty away from the semi-finals in that match for the ages against Uruguay. They will, however, face a United States side eyeing revenge for the extra-time defeat back in 2010. And in Klinsmann, the Americans have what could prove to be just the right tactician required to find their way through in what is certainly a very, very, very tough group there for all the teams. Novi, third straight face-off in a World Cup tournament between Ghana and USA. Obviously, there is no arm of Luis Suarez. Ghana can surely go all the way, but before that, they will have to take on the canny American side. A lot of people are saying this is a very, very different American side from the ones which we are used to watching in World Cup. Klinsmann, obviously, taking the big decisions. He's cast away Landon Donovan. He will be looking for Clint Dempsey and also Aaron Johansson. So Ghana will have to be a little careful, possibly putting their best foot forward.
You see, history and tradition favors Ghana. In 2006 and 2010, coincidentally, they were in the same group. Ghana has won 2-1. But that was a different USA team. You know, for me, I've always felt that USA, I mean, they are late entrants into the world of football, and they've not made the transition whether it should still be American football, which is, you know, a rugged game where you catch as you catch all over the place, or the subtlety of football. Klinsmann is a wonderful choice as a coach, and I think what he did to Germany in 2006, maybe he can do the same to USA. Time will tell, and definitely it will be a more athletic, a more creative USA.
Right.
The previous American teams were just rugged and athletic and played a lot of very physical game.
Right.
So could Klinsmann change around USA?
Certainly, and also on the other hand, Karim, the Ghana manager, James Appiah, he obviously has quite an experience and a very good team, if I could say. There's obviously Kevin Prince Boateng, Asamoah Gyan, Michael Essien. They all have great experience, and the fact that they are very strong, hard players who know literally how to play hardball. And after Portugal losing to Germany in this way, now they will be sensing their chances of making it through this group.
Absolutely. You know, the African sides, even Cameroon, we had watched Cameroon, they are not a bad teams. They are not bad players. You know, Ghana have players with a lot, as you rightly said, with a lot of experience. They played at the highest level, at the club level. The problem with this African sides is the lack of professionalism around the football in the country. You know, we had just seen Cameroon still fighting about the wages and all that.
So is Nigeria.
Yeah, and compared to Germany, for example, who didn't miss a single detail, bringing to Brazil, I don't know how many tons with the even about the entertainment, even the entertainment of the players in their side. The African teams, they don't even think even further to make sure that the logistics and that's what affects the African teams. Otherwise, when it comes to quality, including Ghana, they are a very, very good side.
Very incisive point there made by Karim. But on that note, it's time for us to take a break on the show. But when we come back, we will take you to Curitiba and return with a game coming up in 45 minutes. Can the Super Eagles soar against Asian giants Iran? Welcome back to the beautiful game. Yes, and Novi Kabadi and Karim Ensharif are still here burning the midnight oil. Yes, they are getting ready because in 40 minutes from now, the Super Eagles, that is Nigeria, takes on Iran in their first group encounter in Curitiba. Karim, if I could come to you first, you were talking about the problems Ghana has. Nigeria has similar problems. There are problems between the player and the federation over non-payment of fees. But the fact is that they also have, like Ghana, they have some exceptional players like Obi Mikel, Victor Moses. They have fantastic mobility on the flanks, super midfield. Do you think this is sort of an uneven encounter? Iran, yes, Asian heavyweights, but Nigeria seem to pack more punch. at least on paper?
Well, they are definitely one of the powerhouses of African football. They just won the last African Cup of Nation.
Right.
I think few years back they won, I think, under 20 World Cup. So they have some established players, as you mentioned, Mikael, but they are also having some exciting young players. So very, very good team. But you know, in this World Cup, we learn one thing is, unlike the last World Cup where we watch Ireland, for example, the level is quite below the rest. This World Cup, everybody is even.
Everybody's even. How big is it, Novi, as we quickly wrap it up, to completely out of time, for Iran to perform well and maybe snatch out a point from Nigeria, if not a win, because this is the biggest stage, this is as big as it gets?
Football is the passion in Iran. If they play at their best, they are like the Brazil of Asia. And unfortunately, because of political reasons, they are outcast. They've not got enough matches. But that could maybe inspire them to show the world that they made a major mistake. No, I expect a very close contest. Iran is never overrun.
It's never over till the last ball is bowled, they say in cricket. It's never over till the game is actually played. That's the way it is in football. Well, it's time up for us on the show, but before we go, let's take you through the interactivity which we are getting. This is how you join the conversation here on the Beautiful Game. बहुत मुश्किल है Portugal, घर जाओ वापस, World Cup. Disco Diwani, something I'm sure Novi you would be loving this tweet. The next one which comes in, Portugal have essentially been undone by some very poor defending licks at Siheyu. The one after Anupama 75. Cristiano looks a bit annoyed with his team because they are playing a shocking game. I believe he too himself is guilty of the same. And the final tweet comes from Mishti Doi. Novi, look at this. Germany, we need to play as a team. Portugal, pass the ball to Ronaldo. Fantastic there. And let's see the tweet of the day. This is what we get from Gupta Kaushal. Ronaldo is playing superb football in the advertisement. Germany versus Portugal. Wow, that sort of pretty much sums it up both for both of our guests and for all our viewers. Remember, you can join in this conversation here on CNN IBN. Leave in your questions for both Karim Ben Sharifa and Novi Kapadia. Tweet at IBN Live in the hashtag World Cup, and Karim and Novi will be here tomorrow morning, sharp as ever, after watching all the games and bringing you the latest, of course, answering your questions. On that note, Novi, Karim, time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.